There are worse things to lose than an election. Your integrity, the faith of the voters, your reputation as an honest and honorable person. I've merely lost an election. I congratulate Congressman Perry on his electoral win, and I celebrate the fact that despite Donald Trump's unconstitutional executive orders and threats to bring federal power to bear on a process that the Constitution assigns to the states, we had a free and fair election. It's been said that when your nation is under attack, grab your pitchfork and head to the border. Because the attack came from within, I didn't head to the border. I headed to the Federal Election Commission and filed paperwork to run in a primary against Donald Trump's biggest enabler in Congress, Scott Perry. I ran for office based upon what my conscience and my training as a lawyer tell me to do. Speak out against injustice, take a stand against violations of the Constitution, and stand up for those that Donald Trump, Scott Perry, and the rest of the morally blind Republicans in Congress seek to run over. Whether I won or lost this election was always secondary to the fight for the people of the 10th Congressional District, for their welfare and their future, for the Constitution and the rule of law, and for our country. I am so proud of the people who helped me. I can't thank you enough for sharing your time, skill, and expertise. I will forever be grateful you joined me in this cause. Standing here tonight, I can't help but think back to September of last year. News had just broken that I was running in the primary against Mr. Perry. My hands and feet literally went numb. At that time, I was a campaign of one. Now I am merely one of what I like to call the merry band of democracy defenders. And we know we have further work to do. That work doesn't end tonight or anytime soon. We have an election in November, which may not be free and fair if you take what Donald Trump says seriously. And the stakes couldn't be higher. The misery index, the combination of gas prices and grocery prices, is making day-to-day life harder than we could have ever imagined. Waking up without health insurance has brought an instability that no American should ever have to live with. The worst provisions of the big, brutal betrayal of the American Dream Act, the cuts to Medicare and Medicaid and to SNAP, will take effect early next year. For the most vulnerable Americans, there is more pain yet to come. America's students are finding the doors to college closed. Student loans, which I needed to make my dream of being a lawyer real, are no longer available. Federal officials should never be in the business of systematically crushing students' dreams. But thanks to Donald Trump and Scott Perry, that is now the mission of the Department of Education. The priorities of Donald Trump and Scott Perry are backwards and upside down. They take tax money from us, give it to the richest corporations and individuals, and then watch as we struggle day to day. None of this is right or fair or American. As I learned from my time working in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, if government is causing pain in your life, something is desperately wrong. Our elected leaders are supposed to embody the goodness and competence of the American people. Government exists to help Americans fulfill their dreams, to place their families on a firm footing to succeed. What we have now is a federal government that has functionally become a menace to us and our children, our hope for the future, and in our day-to-day lives. The Declaration of Independence and the Constitution are clear about the role of government. It is beyond time we go back to our founding document's original purpose, to secure the blessings of liberty and provide for the welfare of our nation. We have another chance to do just that in November, when Congressman Perry faces all the voters in the general election. While I will not be a candidate in that race, I will fight on. And I ask you, in whatever capacity available to you, in whatever form that may take, to also fight on. Despite everything Donald Trump, Scott Perry, and the rest of the morally blind Republicans in Congress have done, we are still a great country. Our land is home to a gracious, good-hearted, and generous people. We can still create a future we all want to see, where America stands as a bastion of liberty for the entire world, a defender of democracy, which no longer goes country to country, spoiling for a fight, where freedom of the individual is central to our national credo, where we lift up parents and teachers, farmers and children, senior citizens and firefighters and police officers, where we don't assign value to anyone based upon some inherently corrupt hierarchy this nation rejected long ago. Our superpower is the power to vote and to speak out and to volunteer, to write letters to the editor, to post on social media, to talk to your friends and families, to lend a helping hand to those who Donald Trump and Scott Perry want you to ignore. I truly believe that we rise or fall as one nation and one people. We share a common humanity. We share the same Creator. We share a need to strive and to do more, to be more than anyone in our family line has ever been. Let us go forward in that spirit to renew this nation and to renew our faith in democracy. We can do that in many ways. One way is to join hands, lock arms, and move shoulder to defeat Scott Perry in November. As I have said many times, the future is literally in our hands. The power to create that future lies in our hearts. Its outline is determined by the power to dream, to see the future we want to see, and then sharing that vision with others. When we join together, we find we're not alone, that the same dream is written in the hearts of so many others, more than we could ever have possibly imagined. We feel the indescribable, uplifting feeling that comes from a collective knowledge that working together, the future we want to bring to light is not only possible, it is achievable. Now, let's get to work.